blind mice, three stooges. Screw the refs. Screw the refs. Drake May has went to New Orleans and beat up the Saints. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to another edition here of the Patriots MayeFlower Voyage series here on NE Patriots Talk channel. We have so much to get into after this one thriller of a game between officiating, between the passing offense looking great as always, and there are definitely some cons in that game, particularly with the run game and some injuries and how the pass coverage needs to be improved. But nevertheless, let's get started. As always, I'm the captain of the ship, Dow, aka DTN, and for the first time here on in this series, we got the Fab Four here. We got Mr. Schulten, Mr. Lesage, and Mr. Noble. Boys, how are you doing?
We're doing good. Victory Monday. Can never complain about a victory Monday. But let me just say this. I was out on a walk toward the end of that game. I got back for the end of it, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. The refs are actually going to throw it, aren't they? Like, May had that stunning catch, or throw rather, to I believe it was Diggs on 3rd and 17. And there was like no pass interference. There was like, was that the throw? There was like clear pass interference on the Saints defender and they didn't call it.
And it was like targeting Matt Collins, right?
Correct. It's like, okay, that's right up there with the no call. Somebody posted it. I think it was either Austin. It might have actually been you. It was reminiscent of that of the no call in the NFC championship game with the Rams on that same field, and it was against New Orleans in that game. So was it Robeson?
I don't know who that was. Are you talking about the player or the
player?
Oh, yeah. Nikel Roby-Coleman when he
Roby-Coleman.
Thank you. Saints receiver early.
Yeah.
How about you, Austin?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Just honestly happy to get through the workday and be talking sports with the guys. Victory Monday, as Andy said, it's a great thing to wake up to. There's nothing worse than having to watch your team lose and then like get up for work on Monday. Like Monday is a terrible day for the work week anyways, but the fact that we got to see a win is just, it motivates you to have a great day. I don't know. We're a bunch of, middle-aged men that tie our emotions to how our favorite football team plays. Right. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this game and get into, some of these controversial calls and highlights.
Yeah, there were some, if you guys watch Sunday Night Football, there were some controversial calls in that too, obviously going in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh my gosh.
But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about your New England Patriots, my New England Patriots, Pat's Nation's New England Patriots, ultimately winning against the New Orleans Saints yesterday, 25-19 in the Big Easy. And let me tell you, there were times I thought we'd lose this game. Rattler kind of low-key lit us up yesterday. And I don't know about you guys, but I actually kind of liked him coming into last year's draft. From what little I watched, I thought, like May, he was raw, but I looked like the kid had a lot of potential. I got his stats right here. 20 of 26 for 223 yards. It was, I think Aussie might have said 226 either. It was on either end of 225, but still, we allowed fewer passing yards to Aaron Rodgers than we did to Spencer Rattler. I mean, what does that say? I mean, Marcus Jones, lights out yesterday. Our pass defense was and Drake May ultimately were the two reasons we won that game. But what does that say? I mean, 225 yards to a raw second-year player. What does that say about Carlton Davis? Like I said in our pregame, I didn't hear a lot about Gonzo yesterday either. I'm like, where's he when you need him? I mean, it wasn't just questionable officiating. It was questionable defense. A lot of zone. And still, I mean, we should have won by 2 scores. But here we are, 25-19. It's ugly, but a win is a win. The Pats are 4-2. And I still can't believe I'm sitting here saying that.
Yeah. How about you, Thomas? We forgot about you.
Ha! I knew that was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Thomas?
Pissed off. Yes, that is how I feel right now. Because, yes, of course we won the game. I'm happy with that. But the stupid officiating is what pisses me off.
Adrian Hill. And I've heard that name before, but there are Boston media members, national media members, people connected with the NFL who are saying, what in the wide world of fudge was that officiating yesterday? There was nothing happened on that initial 63-yard catch to Pop Douglas. And it was not only that, but they threw the flag after our field goal unit had lined up. That is completely and utterly bogus. And this is coming from a veteran in both college football and the NFL. And oh yeah, he's a flippin' software engineer. The guy's not dumb. You should be able to look at a camera and all angles of the field, all angles of the game. But we don't. It seems like the NFL. I know I sound like I'm 6, but there really does seem to be, over my dead body, do we want the Pats to be back? I mean, that was when I was saying, we're the last team Football Nation wanted to see land Mike Vrabel. That was not an exaggeration. Well, now we have Mike Vrabel. And now we have Drake May. And now the Pats are 4-2. And guess what, NFL, Chiefs Kingdom, Bills Mafia, you're going to have to freaking live with it.
And the
Drake,
flock, too.
Because the who?
The flock.
Yep.
But
and because Drake May Drake May will be the next great AFC quarterback, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Not ready to say that yet, because there's a lot of football left here, and honestly, most people say that he's going to be an MVP candidate. I'm not ready to say. I'm not going that far. Not ready to go that far.
Yeah.
With this,
yeah, go ahead.
But not with this team, honestly. Drake May look like is a top 10 quarterback. I'll say that. He's a top. Is he going to be a top 5 to be? No. It's going to be a stretch. It's going to be a long stretch. There's a lot of quarterbacks I can name that is completely way better than Drake. And one of them is the quarterback that we'll be facing the next few weeks, Baker Mayfield and the Bucs.
I'll definitely say he's a top 5 quarterback in the AFC East.
We got the Titans. We got the Titans next week.
And we will talk about the Titans next week. But Eric mentioned something, and before we get started with all of this, please make sure that if you haven't already, please smash the like button. If you haven't already, 6 of you, and please make sure to subscribe. It's completely free, and it helps us grow significantly here on this channel, and we want you guys to be part of our community. And to do that, please share that with all your friends. Turn on those bell notifications. If you did not know already, during the preview show when we went on live, we just hit 100 subscribers, and now we are currently at 102. So at some point during this week or maybe next week, we will be doing a Q&A / call-in show / giveaway show coming soon. Don't worry, we will get that under the way, and it will depend on our schedule, so don't worry. And as always, I'm going to post this here I'm going to share this here. Please make sure that you post your questions and comments only relating to the Patriots and football, because in the past few streams, we had a couple of accounts making these stupid fart jokes, like these kids jokes, like it's completely unacceptable. So for the rest of the streams that we're doing and for the rest of this series, only post questions and comments relating to the Patriots and football only.
And there is an emphasis on only there. If you wanna either shout out another team or even take a jovial dump on another team, that's fine. That's football. But we are here to talk the Patriots and the wider NFL with you and for you. So, like Dow just said, please share your football relevant questions, comments, what have you, in the comments section, and we will do our best to answer them or respond to them.
Yes, exactly. And as we kind of briefly started earlier, we will continue this discussion, and it has to do with this officiating. And Eric mentions an interesting point. I saw a post saying, if you woke up tomorrow and were the NFL commissioner, what would be the first thing you do? Create an NFL official academy and have actual refs whose sole job is to be an NFL ref. And I agree. I agree with this post.
That's not a dumb idea at all.
Because I don't know what is with these refs, because their other jobs are something else. Like Adrian Hill is like a rocket science, or maybe Sean Hockley is probably doing great things for his church. I don't know. But what makes it clear, the NFL, and I'm including Roger Goodell, are treating officiating like it's a part-time job, like it's like a hobby. Like, why not make this a full-time job where officiating, like, you start off like maybe a part-time job for the high school football team, then you work up your way to college, and then if you can do really well, then you're qualified for the NFL officiating ref, whatever, in the NFL. So I would think the academy would start up with high school and college. I don't know what the heck is going on with this officiating. Officiating crew, particularly led by Adrian Hill. This is his second worst officiating performance in a row after that Broncos-Eagles game.
Yeah, and again, to paraphrase ESPN here, I mean, the officials are not there to ruin the game of football, for all. They're there to, they're there to keep players safe, and that should be their job. I mean, and it's just, I mean, yeah, the past 3 to 4 years, especially, we've seen a lot of questionable calls. It's not just in Pat's games. There was that NFC Championship game, Saints-Rams. But there should be, like Eric just said, pretty much ref school. It's like you go there to maybe even be, you could have like essentially professors in quotes who are old school refs, to be frank, knew what they were doing. And maybe you guys can help elaborate on this, because I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I can't really.
Yeah, I mean, there clearly needs to be a standard that the NFL upholds to these referees and the crews that they send out onto the fields. And I understand with the amount of NFL teams there are out there that, yeah, maybe it is hard to have a competent crew for every single game, or at least a stellar crew, which is why when it does come playoff time, you do see a lot of the more reliable or like let them play type of refs who are more consistent in their play calling, because the last thing you want to do is have the refs pretty much determine the outcome of a game because of a few plays here or there that could go either way, right? So there definitely needs to be more consistency, and especially in the NFL where, I mean, we're talking didn't they say it's like a $22 billion a year business essentially? Like, it's a lot of money, and the fact that you can't hire competent people to referee your games efficiently and correctly is, quite frankly, a joke. And it's like you guys are saying, it's not just the Pats game. I mean, it could go as far back as, that NFC Championship where Nicole Roby-Coleman, was very early on that pass breakup. We could go as early as last week's game with Denver and the Eagles with some questionable calls by guess who? The crew that just officiated our game.
Correct.
Even the Lions game last night against the Chiefs where they called Goff for like a motion, which I read the rules, and it's literally like you have to call the illegal motion before the snap. If you don't do that, you can't call it after the play's over.
Where did you go on NFL.com or something to find that?
It was like a broadcaster, some analyst for like Detroit was basically same thing. How like one of our people basically like was talking to the ref that officiated our game, was like, hey, why were our special teams units lined up to kick the extra point and our QB sitting on the bench before a flag even showed up to call offensive pass interference for some bullshit, which didn't even make sense. And then the very next play, it's like Diggs on that long reception on the right side or whatever. Maybe not next play, later in the game, but you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And I know, Thomas, you're upset, but I saw one, legit freaking Travis Kelce cries and gets a flag. I mean,
this guy is one of the most hated individuals. I don't like the Chiefs because of Mahomes. Well, I can't say that Mahomes is the best quarterback. I hate the Chiefs because of
Travis Kelce.
And do you know what's interesting about that game?
Did you see him on the sideline during the Super Bowl? I mean,
there was zero penalties from that game. Travis Kelce did have an altercation with Coach Andy Reid, and it happened again against the Giants back in week 3 of this season. Like,
you're not 3. You're not 3. You shouldn't be sparring with your coach on the sideline of every other game.
Heck, he's 35 and he's the captain of the team. Like, what the actual hell? And I know Thomas was really frustrated. So from a fan's perspective, how do you feel, Thomas, about these refs making these bogus calls and ruining the entertainment for the game?
By the way, huge asterisk for the Chiefs last night. I did not read a single article today about how, they're now even, it's, they're back in the playoff, up yours. Yes,
let
Thomas,
it out.
I know. Maybe.
I'm not angry because of that. I'm still pissed off because of these stupid fucking refs had to ruin, like, honestly, like the refs has to be make those stupid calls on our game. Like, come on.
And the Saints, I forget who posted it again, but apparently, like, I don't know if it was Photoshop, but like, apparently the refs, the Saints were in cahoots with the refs before the game. I'm like,
no, that was a funny video I posted of AI.
It was just like, it wasn't.
I promise. I don't think the Saints are in on it. If anything, it's the refs.
It was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have put that out there.
It's because
it was just a joke thing. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get back to my topic before we go off topic. The 2 offensive pass interference penalties. I'm sorry. Where the fuck was a pass interference on Diggs? Where is it? Like, where the fuck was it? Sure, just showed a little bit of contact. It's not illegal contact. Honestly, it's not. And yet the refs, like Adrian Hill, is like, that's pass interference. Come on, bro. That's not pass interference.
Like, I even read like sorry to interrupt you, Thomas. Like, I even read a snippet from like the post on Patriots.com about like questioning the refs decisions for why he makes these stupid calls. And after reading this, I'm like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, you don't do like I think those are bullshit answers. Like I'm gonna read this question, for example. What was seen to call OPI on Stephon Diggs that nullified a touchdown catch by Demario Douglas? And this is what he said. On that play, we ruled blocking downfield by number 8 early during the play. So if there is a situation where a player blocks downfield, it's not a foul until a pass is thrown. So you kind of put that in the bank. And then the pass was thrown downfield later. That created the offensive pass interference. Like, that is a bunch of BS.
That's a bunch of gobbledygook.
And Power makes an interesting point. Gene Steratore, who was basically like the analyst for like officiating, he says he finds that a questionable call. Like, what the hell? So, and then this is one that really upsets us fans.
Yeah, not only that here, that there's another offensive PI from Diggs, and a play later, no pass interference on the Saints, who literally did a visible pass interference on Matt Collins. Where the fuck is that?
The Saints defender was literally holding his hand like this, right on the sideline. I'm like, that's not holding?
What? Yeah, I even called that one out, but at the end of the day, I feel like that one's more of a ticky-tacky one where, like, I feel like we're kind of getting shit shoveled in our face. So then it's like we're just reaching for something. Yeah, I get it. He was holding his arm, but it wasn't as egregious as some of the other penalties I have seen. The one that I'm honestly pissed about is, like, obviously the Douglas one, but the one where Diggs, like, catches that 50-yard pass along the sideline there.
Yeah, on that
and they
3rd
call
and
that
17,
back. And they tried saying OPI because he had his hand, like, on his thing, and they imitated like he was pushing off. One, he didn't fully extend his arm, and two, from my understanding, like
they showed that he was like touching him like this.
Yeah, to my understanding, it's a technique that wide receivers use, especially good ones like that, where it's more so he's trying to track the ball, and so it's a feeler to know where the defender is on him, so he can properly place his hand. So yeah, that one really irked me. Like, I thought I was gonna have an aneurysm watching the game yesterday.
I want to. There's another. You know what I'm also pissed off and what I don't understand? And I'm going to give Mike Vrabel huge credit. And here's why. He threw 3 challenge flags for these 3 particular plays. And I think Austin can explain these plays in full detail.
I thought he threw 2. Well, I thought it was 2. Was it 1? It was 2.
Oh, 2?
2.
Yeah.
So one of them was when Drake May converted that 2-point conversion. And they say that it was a no good.
That's stupid.
But when you look at the when you look at the tape, then they said, "Oh, I'm sorry that they were good." Like, what the hell are these? Is this crew blind? Like,
it was that, and then what was clearly a fumble, I believe, by Olave.
Yes. And they said it's fucking incomplete. Where in the fucking world that's incomplete? It's literally. You caught the ball, it's completed, you have full control, and then BAM! That's a fumble.
That was clearly punched out.
Actually, there's a third one, and I don't think so. You basically talked about the fumble and the 2-point conversion. There's one more play that I don't think you 3 talked about. Kayshon Boutte making a play, converting it to first down, and they call it out of bounds. It was supposed to be towards the end of the 4th quarter. Mike Vrabel threw that final challenge flag, confirming that Kayshon Boutte was in bounds to convert the first down, and they said it's 4th down. Like, why? Like, what is this officiating? Like, you're basically going from one camera to another to evaluate this, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, clearly, Mike Vrabel did a great job of challenging these flags. If it was Gerard Mayo, he would have let it sail, and we would have lost immediately. So I'm going to give Mike Vrabel for this.
And Vrabel had a really pretty comical response, if somebody can pull it up in the chat, to that officiating. It was like something like, it wasn't like I've never seen anything like this, but it was really.
He's pretty much shitting on them without
Yeah.
coming out and shitting on them, because obviously, as a NFL head coach, like, you could be fined significantly for even talking out badly against the refs. But yeah, he pretty much danced around the fact that the refereeing was pretty fucking awful. And I mean, I mean, I would say Vrabel is like a big reason we won that game, because obviously we won the first challenge. I commend him, honestly, and like he explained it further with that second, like the Olave fumble. Like, I know we're all looking at it going, bro, that's a fumble, but from his understanding, he held it because he's like, I can't risk trying to do this. And then they say, oh, well, he wasn't turned, and it was actually an incomplete. So, and by not challenging that, it saved another challenge, so then we could use it on, Jawan Johnson's, fumble later when they tried to rule that as down by contact. So,
and the best part about those 3 challenge flags is we won all 3 of them, and we didn't have to lose a timeout. That was the best part about it. Like, Mike Vrabel knew, like, if the refs were stupid enough and say that the challenge was failed, then they're a bunch of idiots.
Especially in the later part of, in part 2 of the second dynasty. One thing they always said about the Pats, especially in the playoffs, and especially about Brady, was situational football. Brady and McDaniels knew how to handle situational football. And that is what we saw from Mike Vrabel yesterday. And that was one of the reasons Pats fans were excited about him. He was terrific in situations in Nashville. And he's proving that again here. And there was something else. Yeah. My guy, Brett Alper, over on
Patriots Today by Chat Sports.
Patriots Today by Chat Sports, thank you, said, basically, we were half an inch away from losing this game because of the officiating. And it's like, thank God for all 4 of us here that we won, or there might be a march on New York right now to the offices of the NFL. What the like, if I was rewatching yesterday's games and we'd won and we'd lost, and I'd see obviously the damn Chiefs won, I'd be like, hold on a second here, buddy. What is your actual problem?
Yeah, I'm pulling up a article from Sports Illustrated, and what seems to be clear is that every fan is really frustrated about these refs. And one of the refs directly on the X account says, please investigate every single ref working for the Patriots game. And then a podcaster, Pete Blackburn, said, not to be dramatic, but I need this Patriots Saints officiating crew to be thrown in prison. What truly masterful is that every time the Patriots make a big play, there is a yellow marker that shows up 5 seconds after the play has concluded. Like, I don't understand what is going on with this particular officiating crew. And there was this report, I don't know if this was accurate or not, but that crew led by Adrian Hill was downgraded or basically demoted, or I would say fired, because of that shitty performance between the Broncos and the Eagles. So that was comical, put into Mike Vrabel's terms. And yeah, he said it was comical, and
he's right.
And this is a funny quote from Tyler. You might want to react to this.
Oh,
Vrabel looked like he was talking to children with these refs. I agree. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Thomas? I think we need to get
and it was also Tyler who said earlier today, I wonder if the refs were so in, all about the bettors. It was like the over under was like 46 or something, and it wound up being 44. And maybe Tyler, you can clarify this in the comments, but it was like all about basically, trying to get that score exactly the way the bookies thought it would be. Crazy.
I don't know if you want to discuss this for like 2 to 3 minutes, and maybe you can answer this, but there was news that we have our first coach fired this season, and it's kind of funny that I want to say this for the preview show, but it's so big that Nathan asked this good question. So on Sunday versus Tennessee Titans, they have Mike McCoy as the interim head coach for the Tennessee Titans, and it's 27-37 as a head coach. How do you guys feel about that? So basically, if you don't know, Mike McCoy was the senior offensive assistant for the Tennessee Titans. Ever since Brian Callaghan got let go by the Tennessee Titans, he was announced that he's going to be the interim head coach. Excuse me. Knowing Mike McCoy, he was a former head coach for the I think it was the San Diego Chargers. But what are your thoughts about this, especially as we are heading to Tennessee next week, as Mike Vrabel goes up against his former team? What are your thoughts on this coaching matchup, even though we're talking about this Patriots Saints game? I'll ask you, Thomas.
Not going to talk about that when we get to pregame against the Titans, so we're just going to save that for that topic later.
Okay, so Nathan, you might want to save that. You might want to save that question for the next episode. Don't worry, but
very, very good question, though. We'll get to you. We'll get to you on Saints pregame. Yeah, all right, even Titans pregame. But excellent question.
Yeah, definitely. Let's start off with the pros of that game. Once again, Drake Maye has another great performance in spite of that shitty officiating. Like, he should have had 5 touchdowns, but instead it went to 3 touchdowns. And all of those 3 touchdowns...
Well, 4, because he wound up getting a touchdown on that drive where it was called back.
Mm-hmm. Like, we had... So basically, all of our 2023 wide receivers showed up. Like, Pop had a bounce-back game, and Booty had another great game, even though he was quiet after week 2 against the Dolphins. But I want you to ask... I want to give Thomas some production here, but what were your thoughts on Drake Maye's performance in general from that game?
I think he did well in that game against the Saints, even though the terrible officiating and has to take that away from us. But I think Drake did a good job. I don't think it's a great performance compared to the Bills game. I think it's a where's that card? It's a B performance at this point for Drake. Those 3 touchdowns we had is on the first half, and the crazy thing is, 11 for 13, 185, 3 touchdowns here. It's crazy to say here. Really crazy to say here that Drake. All 3 of those touchdowns were in the first half, and this is nuts. Also, and also I got this stat from NFL Plus on Twitter. Drake Maye is the 4th quarterback to age 23 or younger with 200 plus passing yards and 100 plus passer rating in 5 consecutive games. The 3 others: Dan Marino, Dak Prescott, and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and everybody's saying Drake Maye is Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen, during the first 2 seasons in the league, never had these kind of stats, and Drake Maye did. With a first year with a shitty coaching staff and a shitty supporting cast on offense. Now, with an approved offense, an approved head coach, a better head coach, I would say, and an improved, and I mean better, offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniels.
So an improved offensive line.
Yes, but I'm just gonna say this here. I said last week's review. I say that Drake Maye is like a young Josh Allen, because when Josh Allen came to the league, what did he have here? Then he got a not so good supporting cast back then, not a good offensive line. And look what happened the next few years. He got a better offensive line. He got a better wide receiving cast. They got a better head coach. What did Drake Maye have? They have a shitty offensive line last year. They got a shitty coaching staff. They got a shitty supporting cast. What do we have this year for Drake? We got a better offensive line compared to last year. Supporting cast, we're getting up there. And we got a better coaching staff. So technically, I say that he compared to a young Josh Allen. So I still say he compares to a young Josh Allen. The 23 below Josh Allen.
Interesting. When we think about these throws, Austin, from Drake Maye, did you think that like Drake Maye was comfortable like throwing the ball, making these deep throws, especially to Pop Douglas, who definitely had a bounce back game after we criticized him for not making big plays, not making these plays like, for example, converting the fourth down against the Steelers, which still pisses me off. But nevertheless, what were your thoughts on Pop Douglas's performance against the Saints?
I thought in a way Pop Douglas really redeemed himself. I think in the post-game press conference, or maybe today he was at the podium, he was kind of discussing that, it's hard when you're not getting the ball, because I guess it's not almost like you lose heart, but you just start to kind of lose yourself, and you wonder, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I not doing the right things to help the team, to help me get opportunities, type of thing? So he said, it really reassured him, like, he's doing the right stuff. He just needs to, like, keep at it. I was really impressed with the fact that, Douglas is a 4.4 speed guy. Like, a lot of people don't look at him as that down the field burner, because frankly, I don't think he is, but he's very, very quick and can get fast. And once he's in that open field, it's like, good luck tackling him, because you saw on that first touchdown, he caught the ball and then broke that tackle to get into the end zone. On the one that was called back, talk about open field ability. He caught it, did a spin move, juked the guy out, and then Ramondre, I'll give Ramondre all the credit in the world. He hauled ass all the way down to block the guy for him to be able to run into the end zone on that touchdown that was unfortunately called back. So I think Pop had, a really good game for, I think he only had a handful of catches, so he definitely made the most of the looks that Drake Maye gave him. And to build on that, I thought Drake Maye was incredibly poised in the pocket. I thought in previous weeks it was a lot of, he'd feel the pressure, and he had the habit of looking down and just trying to get out of the pressure and just run. And they've just really been instilling into him, keep your eyes up, always be ready to throw. Keep your eyes up, always be ready to throw. And to me, that's exactly what he did. I feel like the pocket wasn't great, but it was, it's an NFL pocket. It's not always going to be wide out here. Sometimes it's going to be tight. And, multiple times that game, he stepped up in the pocket. Even, the Stephon Diggs one that unfortunately got called back, he's getting tugged by his jersey behind, and he still launches that sucker 51 yards for a completion on the right side. But again, called back. Just poor officiating. But I thought Drake Maye performed really well. First 3 touchdown game for him as well. The sky is high with this guy. The ceiling at this point is infinite. I'm very interested in seeing, how far is he going to go and how far is he going to take our football team, because we're quite literally, hopefully, looking at, the quarterback for the next 15 years for us.
Oh, 100%. And he's a fairly sturdy guy too. So yeah, easily 10 or 15 years. I love the performance from Drake yesterday. I got the numbers right here: 18 of 26 for 261 yards and 3 touchdowns. Again, no turnovers. It's our third game in a row with no turnovers. Well, Mondre fumbled last week, but it wound up not being a turnover. And these are stats from May for the last 3 games. 3-0, obviously, Carolina, Buffalo, and then yesterday. 74% completion percentage, 5 touchdown passes, 0 turnovers, and a 126 or 128.6 quarterback rating. That is pretty darn good, if you ask me. He's also been an amazing fourth quarter quarterback. Where I think if you take, I have the numbers here. Where are they? Here we go. Overall, 71% completion percentage in the fourth quarter. That goes up to 82%. So again, 82% fourth quarter completion percentage, and get this, in one-score games. That's a quarterback who's clutch. And one of the knocks on Drake Maye after last year's, he doesn't have that clutch win. We're not even sure he can win us games yet. We've seen the past couple of games against the Bills and yesterday against the Saints that he is more than capable of that. And, 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter. It was amazing. And like Austin said, he had poise yesterday. Those flags were not getting to him at all. He is not a rattled quarterback. And actually, as I thought, he actually did have 3 touchdown passes against the Texans in his NFL debut. But since then, I think this is his second game with 3 touchdown passes. The kid's balling, and Josh McDaniels here, I think, is really helping out, especially he's thriving off play action, which we were one of the lowest percentage teams in using play action last year. So, yeah, I think the sky's the limit for him.
When we talk about this, Andy, we saw 2 homecomings from our respective LSU players, Kayshon Boutte and Will Campbell.
Kayshon Boutte, I believe, right across the Lake Pontchartrain in New Iberia. And Will Campbell from upstate. About FYI, I heard his hometown is Monroe, Louisiana, which is in the northeastern part of the state, and they said that's a 5-hour drive from New Orleans. For reference, I have a friend who has a house in Newcomb in upstate New York in the Adirondack Park, and that's a 5-hour drive from here. So you're cross that 5-hour drive, you're crossing state lines. So that's, just a little reference, but they are both Louisiana, and so it is both a homecoming, as you said, Doug, because both guys are out of LSU.
Yeah, and what were your thoughts on Kayshon Boutte's performance, especially getting 2 touchdowns?
I loved it, man. And like Austin said, Pop Douglas had a little redemption game yesterday. He went 3 receptions for 78 yards and a touchdown. Boutte had 4 receptions for 93 yards and 2 scores. So those 2023 guys, this is Maye adapting to life in the NFL. This is Maye spreading the ball around. This is Josh McDaniels opening up the offense, which we have not seen the past couple of years. And that's what happens when we have competent coaching, which again, for the past couple of years, we haven't really had. This is obviously Josh. This is Drake's second offensive coordinator. And Kayshon Boutte and Pop Douglas's third offensive coordinator. But no, I think both of those guys proved it yesterday. Diggs, he had a couple of, like I said, unfortunately, that 55-yard catch he had on 3rd and 17 was called back. Can you spell stupid? But no, I was very happy with Boutte and Pop yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. So Thomas is busy right now, probably doing whatever. But let's talk. And
I also said I put a comment in the chat about the pass rush. I don't know.
Against the Saints, yeah, especially that you never underestimate Demario Davis or Cam Jordan or this run defense.
Ryan Brzee, no.
Let's talk about this unfortunate run offense. And I understand it was not the best, but I think because of how good this passing offense was, I did not think that the rushing offense needed some attention. But I feel like at some point you can't be just one-dimensional throughout the rest of the season. But I want to ask you this, Austin. What were your thoughts on the lack of the rushing offense and why Travion Henderson nor Ramondre Stevenson have been getting like the explosiveness that they should have had?
I think it really boils down to them psyching themselves out. I think the coaching staff has instilled it in them that, you have to hold on to the football, and that's been their pretty much number one focus. And I almost feel like it's almost too drilled in, because you're looking at Ramondre on his runs where we're at like midfield, 50-yard line, 40-yard line, and we're handing it off to him, and he's immediately going into the double carry. And to me, that just shows like a lack in confidence of holding on to the ball. But also,
into what?
Like a double carry to hold on to the ball better.
Oh.
It just shows lack of confidence in yourself to hold on to the ball. And in doing so, it really limits like your elusiveness and how you normally run with the ball. I mean, how normal people run. You run in stride. Like if you're running like a meatball down the field, I mean, you're never going to gain much traction. So I feel like that has something to do with it. I think the run blocking has been pretty piss poor too. I mean, I think Garrett Bradbury called out the run blocking, saying, we need to do a better job as an O-line. And I really do attest to that, because Onwenu really disappointed me yesterday with some of the schemes. And I think part of it too is like we're so stuck in trying to do this duo run scheme, where I think we need to get back to more of the zone run to the outside. Like when we're running a lot of the stretches, I feel like that's where we have most of our success. So if we can get back to doing something like that, that would be great. I mean, all signs are pointing towards Trevion's about to start ramping up, because Trevion had 5 less carries and more yards than Ramondre.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested to see what Trevion can do, because I really don't think Ramondre is going to be here past this year if he keeps playing like this.
He didn't lose the ball yesterday, but
I feel like
he had like an average of, what was it?
They're literally averaging like
2 yards a carry, if that.
2.05 yards a carry.
Yeah. Eric mentioned something, and I completely agree with this. I mentioned this in the Discord chat. Stevenson is worried about fumbling them reading the holes and running. And I agree, like, after his 3 lost fumbles, I think it's getting into his head. I think he's overthinking it.
He's overthinking, yeah.
Like, I get it, you're trying not to fumble the ball, but at the same time, multitask a little bit. You have to fumble the ball. No, you have to secure the ball, and read the room right now. Like, you're trying to find these holes. Granted, the offensive line, when it comes to run blocking, disappointed me, but it doesn't help that Ramondre Stevenson needs to focus on looking through those gaps. Like, you see like a moving, I don't know how to describe it. It's like playing Crossy Road. You try to find an opening, you go for it. Ramondre
playing what?
I don't know. Playing chicken.
You're essentially being like, he needs better ball carrier vision, where he's getting the handoff and he can read the holes and know where to punch it in and, get going. Kind of like the old Mondre. Like, he has yet to perform anywhere near his, was it 2021 that he had his best season?
It's either 1 or 2.
Yeah. It might have been 2 under Patricia, ironically.
Yeah, I think it was.
Season.
Yeah. They were talking about like wherever, especially in the early games, we were like, oh, holy crap, look at Stevenson. And now we're like, oh boy, we want him off the team. But anyway, 330 total yards of offense for the Pats. We only had 73 rushing yards on 31 total carries. That's only 2.4 yards per run. 2.4. I mean,
Drake May cannot be your leading rusher week in and week out.
He absolutely not. That's entirely unsustainable.
And it doesn't help that Antonio Gibson is officially is in IR for the rest of the season.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do with Westover? Are we gonna put him in as like a power runner?
Because he's more of a fullback, or I would just say more of like a tight end, because we brought him in No, I wouldn't say like I think we brought him in through waivers.
They use him as a Taysom Hill type player.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Like,
To be honest, I just say use him as a blocking fullback. Just don't use him more than that. Just carry it. Use him to block for the run, block for the pass. So I say just nothing more than just use him as a blocking fullback.
yeah, okay. Tyler says that no way Westover gets used as a running back. His speed's not there. He's more of a pass. He has more of a pass block.
Yep.
But let's switch over to the defense. And oh my gosh, it's one story to tell. I think this is
Carlton Davis, and Carlton Davis.
Yes, but I want to
and Marcus Jones and Carlton Davis again.
I want to start off with that fumble. That should have been a fumble. What were your thoughts on that play that was made by Christian Ellis on that fumble? I think that was.
I thought it was a good play. That was the one where Juwan Johnson has it, right? That's the one you're referring to.
Let me take a look. Right now oh my gosh, right now the Bills are trailing 14. Hold on, let me take a look. Or is it
the pass breakup fumble Marcus Jones that
hold on. It was in the
Saints kept the ball on that play, right? Even though Ellis
it was to Juwan Johnson. That Robert Spillane and Christian Ellis.
It was Spillane, okay.
Yeah, to my understanding, I mean, Christian Ellis has just been practicing, that a lot in the practices leading up to the game and prior weeks as well. That's what a lot of the coaching staff and his teammates are saying is, that linebacker room is really focused on, every opportunity you have, every chance you have to make a tackle, why not try to punch that ball out, whether it's with your hand, with your helmet as you go in for a good form tackle. You see it with Spillane. Like, I think, it's crazy how the first 2 weeks we're looking at Spillane like, man, this might have been a fluke hire or a fluke signing. We probably shouldn't have brought him in. And then since the Steelers game where he picked off Rodgers, he's been probably one of our better players, and he's been punching. You can see him on every play. Like he literally looks like he's, Mike Tyson Punch Out on the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo
64,
the NES or the 64. Yeah, exactly. Where he's just punching every time he goes for a tackle, and they're just instilling it into that defense to be physical and to always, go for the ball, and that's what it was. He's been doing good. I mean, I know in that Steelers game we subbed him out for Gibbons, and then Gibbons had a little bit of a streak where he was performing better. But I think with Tavai back too, I don't know, our linebacker room is it feels like it's improved drastically over the past 3 games.
Yeah, obviously we want our linebackers to improve, and it doesn't help that Tavai was absent, which is why there was so much miserable performances from the linebacker room, especially when it comes to coverage. And this is the problem that I have with this defense. It's not against the run. It's in the pass coverage. Time and time again, we can't be letting up these big plays. For example, we let up a big play on Olave, and I don't know why we let up on these particular plays in the passing game, but it seems like we can't be just not cover having these horrible matchups one-on-one and then just not focusing on these man coverages. We saw Kyle Duggar back, and he let up on a play, and this was Spencer Rattler throwing a deep throw to Chris Olave, and there was no cover. There was lack of coverage. What has been the problem with the Patriots' defensive pass coverage? I would say, what's going on with the pass coverage from the Patriots defense and why it's been lacking?
That one's for you, Andy.
You're muted.
I'm so sorry, Da. Repeat the question. I had to.
What has been going? What has been going on with this pass coverage from this defense, of why we've been letting up these big plays in the air?
Especially yesterday's under usage of Gonzo. not enough man and too much zone. And I don't want to say correct me if I'm wrong, but Carlton Davis, just especially these past couple of games, has not been good at all. I mean, he just got his ass handed to him by Chris Olave yesterday. Just like he had his ass handed to him by, I believe it was Keon Coleman a week ago. Go ahead.
Well, you can't help it if Carlton Davis is almost injured at this point. He was injured on the game
yesterday.
Yeah. He suffered an injury yesterday, but it's coming back from that. I don't know if Carlton Davis is playing through an injury. It seems like he is playing through an injury. And I don't know what part of the injury is. Like, he suffered a season-ending jaw injury last season. I think it was a loss to the Bills. And Carlton Davis is playing through an injury at this point. And I don't know is the contract not worth it? Is he trying to play cornerback one and basically he's good in man coverage that he's playing out of position? I don't know.
I think we'll be fine. I think if we're gonna win in this, if we're gonna win in this league, like, we're gonna need Carlton Davis to step up. And yeah, it's kind of been the running meme where once a game he kind of gets hurt, comes out of the game, and then comes back in very shortly after. I'd like to see a game where he just doesn't get hurt and then is able to, prove that he was worth the signing, because up until now he really hasn't. But
exactly,
I do think if we're to have any aspirations for playoffs in the next, this year to 3 years or whatever, for how long he signed, like, he's gonna have to step up on that other side. I think Marcus Jones has been our best corner, honestly. Even better than Gonzo.
Marcus Jones has been our best corner, although Gonzo's only been back for a couple games. I call me crazy. I would draft a corner if Davis doesn't shape up. I am just not trusting him, and I'm not alone. It could, on this panel, it could be just me, but
I personally don't think corner's that big of a need to try and go after it early.
No, safety is more of a need than corner.
Actually, I disagree. Edge is more of a need than safety, because I want to talk about this pass rush. It seems like, let's talk about these injuries. Landry was down for a moment, and then by towards the end of the second half, he got a sack. What were your thoughts on?
He was back in the game, yeah.
Yeah, but what were you? Well, I can't tell if Thomas is lagging a bit, but I'll ask him. I'll ask Thomas this. What were your thoughts on Landry being back after coming down with the small injury and then making a sack onto Spencer Rattler before hitting halftime?
It's a small setback, honestly. But yeah, Landry has been a better part ever since that injury. He got a sack, but I think that small injury is just a setback, honestly. But if you're talking about what we need on defense, I don't think edge is necessary at this point. To me, most likely at either that or possibly just one corner. It doesn't hurt.
Would you draft a corner day 2 or day 3?
I say day 3.
Okay. But let's talk about the what else I want to talk about? Let me find it. Let's talk about special teams, and let's quickly get into special teams, and I want to talk about the return of the debut of Efton Chisholm. Let's talk about Efton Chisholm, man. And I know you're a huge Efton Chisholm guy, Andy. Mind telling the audience what your thoughts on Efton Chisholm playing in special teams?
Yes, I am a big Efton Chisholm guy. As you all know, and I've been, it's like, okay, he keeps being a healthy scratch. It's like, what's going on? Well, we finally saw him yesterday in his NFL debut, where he featured mainly as a kickoff returner, or kickoff return man on special teams. So, yeah, I mean, and we've been talking about Chisholm, and it's like when he eventually gets his start, it will be on. It will be on special teams. And I have the numbers right here. He returned 5 kickoffs for 129 yards. So that is an average of that's an average of 25.8 yards per return. That's pretty darn good. As we know, he's, mainly a slot receiver, and if yesterday was any indication, we still have that slot guy in Pop Douglas. But yeah, kind of like we used to use Edelman on returns, like right after we drafted him. That's not, given those numbers, that's not a stupid role for Chisholm at all. So yeah, I liked what we the little we saw out of him yesterday. I was very happy to see him take the field.
Yeah. Do you think, Austin, that moving forward, since Antonio Gibson has been our kick returner for a while now until he suffered that ACL, I think it was, do you think that Chisholm, moving forward throughout the rest of the season, could be our leading kick returner?
Yeah, I think it's very likely moving forward that Chisholm and Jennings are just going to be kick returner 1 and 2. Ideally, that's not the group that you want back there. As much as I love Chisholm, I mean, I don't think he has that explosiveness that Gibson and Henderson brought to the kick return unit, quite frankly. I think he's quick, but I don't know if he has that breakaway speed. But it would be interesting. I mean, you see a lot of Edelman kind of when you're watching him return some of those. And, he had a few decent returns to the, 30-yard line, 35, right around there. So I can't necessarily complain at all with what I saw. Let's see what he can do in these weeks coming. And, maybe they actually give him an opportunity to get some plays on offense, because I don't know. I want to see Kyle. I'd honestly like to see Kyle Williams return some kicks. Why not? He's got the speed. Like, that's what I was kind of thinking. But yeah, I don't mind Chisholm. I like Chisholm too. I just, like I said, I worry about the explosiveness, but it's clear that he has good vision and that he's able to find the holes. It's just got to get past that.
Yeah, I think that I predicted that Chisholm would start off as special teams, especially when you have to take over for who is it? Antonio Gibson. And I thought that Travion Henderson could be our kick. I thought Henderson could be our kick returner, especially after making that initial touchdown during the first preseason game against the Washington Commanders. Granted, it was a preseason game, but I thought that Travion Henderson could be our kick returner moving forward. But it seems like I want to see Efton Chisholm getting some reps, and I want to see Efton Chisholm being that guy, working his way up, and I love his attitude. And there's a reason, there is a reason why the Patriots signed him to this huge contract for a UDFA. Like, you want to see every Patriots fan wants to see some Chisholm. And I want to ask you this, Thomas, now that you're back, what were your thoughts on Chisholm from your perspective?
It's a decent debut, honestly. At 129 yards, 25.8 average, long 28. It's a decent debut. Am I impressed with it? No. It doesn't blow me away, honestly. I don't think he's better than the other players we have, including the receivers we have. So, technically, I think it's a decent debut.
When push comes to shove, I'd take Henderson on kick returns over Chisholm, but he did not do poorly by any means. Not stellar.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a kid. He's a kid. So there you go. You can't complain. You can't give him his flowers yet. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. And before we get into the winners and losers, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that only 2 people only like the stream. Like, come on, guys. If you haven't already, and I mean if you haven't already, it says so in the banner. Please make sure that you like this live stream if you haven't already, if you really enjoyed this live stream. Also, please click the subscribe. It's completely free. It helps us grow significantly here on this channel. And turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified for our next episode of the Patriots MayeFlower Voyage. But I want to talk about this competition within the AFC East now, because it seems like we all thought the AFC East would be at least a little more competitive, being like, obviously the Bills being good, Jets at least being serviceable, with the Dolphins being trash. But it's the opposite. Bills are slowly starting to regress. We're getting better. Jets are in a basement, as I expected, and the Dolphins, obviously, they've given up. I'll ask all 3 of you. What are your thoughts on this competition so far within the division?
Yeah, I mean, I love that we're 4-2, obviously, but and which means it's only through week 6, 7th seed in the AFC playoffs, by the way. But yeah, we got a good win against Miami and a good win against Buffalo, and like you said, it looks like Buffalo's dropping off. Well, they're now only behind 21-14. They just got a touchdown, but I'd almost hoped there'd be a little more competition, especially, with Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields coming to the Jets. I mean, yeah, the Jets are the Jets and we all hate the Jets, but there's some good players on that roster. I mean, they have Garrett Wilson and they have Breece Hall and that mediocre corner named Sauce Gardner. Yeah. They got a couple of guys on the O-line in Fashanu and Membo, thank you. I think they have still a couple of key. They still have
Quinn Williams.
Williams, right? And it's not Franklin; it's Quinn and Williams. They still have a fairly stout D-line, but I mean, come on now, guys. It was a near miss against the Broncos yesterday, but face it, that was like a shitty game. They're 0-6. You can't say it's quite fair competition when you're in a division with the only winless team in the league. Do I think they'll stay that way? No, but and obviously it does help us. But I did think I'd almost hoped for a little bit more AFC East competition than we're getting right now. And, yesterday we just saw the Chargers barely beat the Dolphins, inside the final 50 seconds pretty much. But, yeah, I'm happy we're near the top, but, I'd like a little bit more of a horse race than there is.
How about you, Austin?
Yeah, I think with any football team, you want to breed competition. You want to go against, some of the better teams to sharpen your team in a sense, make them stronger, make them more in tune for when they do have the tougher battles. Who better than division rivals to do that to? It's one of 3 opponents that you get to verse not once, but twice a year, every year. So it's like you get to know the people you're going against and the scheme. So it's like that much harder of games. But the fact that, the Jets are literally the basement of the NFL right now at 0-6, and the Dolphins are holding open the basement door for the Jets, essentially. Like, they're on their way down at 1-5. There's really not much upside with the Jets. I mean, you got half the fan base clamoring for the head coach to be fired, and you got half the fan base saying that it's not the head coach's fault, it's Justin Fields. So it's like, where do you find common ground in that? I don't know. Personally, I would say it's more Justin Fields. I think they need a new quarterback, but they're absolutely abysmal at bringing up quarterbacks and coaching.
Correct.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just Justin Fields is not the answer that everyone thought he would be.
No. And I watched, sorry to cut you off, Austin, but I watched something earlier that was like, okay, outside of Tom Brady, New England is where quarterbacks go to die. It's like, no, the graveyard of quarterbacks is the Jets. I mean,
Or
Sam
the Browns.
Darnold or the Browns, either. Yeah. I mean, Sam Darnold is now good.
Sam Darnold's good. Daniel Jones, I get he was a different New York, but same type of scenario.
Daniel Jones, I mean, the Colts.
Yeah, they have an easier schedule.
They're 5-1, but we'll see where that goes. The conference itself, is quite interesting. But yeah, as Austin said, I mean, you like that competition in your division. Like the NFC North has it with Detroit and Green Bay and potentially Minnesota all there. The AFC West has it with Denver, Kansas City, and the Chargers. The Raiders did get their second win on the season yesterday. So
I mean, as fun as
NFC West is there. NFC West kind of with Frisco now losing.
Yeah, as fun as it was during the Brady era where we could look at the schedule and just instantly go, all right, 6 free wins. It's ideally you don't want that. You want to win, but you want to win right. You don't just want to all right, pencil in all these wins because your team is, that much better. Or the other team's not going to give you a fight. A lot of those teams just rolled over that we went against. So obviously the Jets are the bottom. You got the Dolphins who can't figure out for the life of them if they're going to stick with Tua or
right. Tua and or McDaniel. They don't know if they're going to stick with either one of them.
Yeah,
they've been iffy on. They've been wishy-washy on Tua for the past couple of years.
I don't know if they're going to bench Tua for Zach Wilson, and we all
Quinn Ewers, I hope, if anything. But yeah, that Dolphins team is just in a really rough place right now. And to think, right, the Patriots have been the bottom of the East for
2 years,
probably since 2019. I mean,
outside of 21,
and maybe 22.
But you could attribute 21 to just being a fluke, where it's Mac Jones was one good year,
right? But the Jets, I mean, we were bottom of the East the past 2 seasons, and I think close to it might have still been the Jets in 22.
In the time that Brady left and we had the pitfall, we've already rebuilt our team, got a new head coach, and are trending towards playoffs. Before Miami's won a single playoff game, Jets have had a winning season, and the Bills have even won an AFC championship, let alone a Super Bowl.
Making a Super Bowl.
So I really don't think that they're going to be doing much. And yeah, the Bills are just, I don't know, they're regressing. It seems like they've had all these years, even during the tail end of Brady's, tenure there. It's they had Josh Allen kind of coming in, right? And you kind of saw him, okay, maybe he's going to give us competition, going to take over the AFC East. And, the Bills ended up doing it, but they have 5 or 6 straight AFC East titles. And
5.
Yeah, 5. And they haven't done anything with them. It's losing the division, losing the AFC, just constant playoff losses. And it's not going to get any easier for them because Patriots are right on their heels. And, this Falcons game, there's 12 minutes left. And, Falcons are up right now. So
Falcons are probably about to kick a field goal. I mean, the Chiefs, I mean, Travis Kelce's getting old. Their window is probably closing on a Super Bowl.
Chris Jones is also getting old.
Exactly, that too. So they're aging. The Bills are aging. The
only reason they're still in the hunt is because of the referees.
Yeah, to be frank, the Chargers, I mean, Herbert's looking like the real deal. Who knows about Lamar Jackson? Joe Burrow's a stud, injured all the time. I
can't imagine being a Bengals fan looking at the season going, oh my God, Lamar is hurt. The Browns suck. The Steelers they're kind of And Burrow's hurt. Their one season where it's man, they got a clear path.
Imagine if we had Burrow
regression. The Bengals could literally be number 1 in the AFC.
They played the Packers with Joe Flacco yesterday. They played the Packers tough until the last quarter. And those Bengals, man, if they had Burrow, you might be looking at them as the 6th or 7th seed instead of the Pats right now.
Yeah. I want to ask Thomas his turn on what his thoughts on the competition for the AFC East division and potentially the AFC conference.
Buffalo right now just got the ball back.
Yeah, the competition's stiff. I still think Buffalo's the best team in the division this year. Honestly, despite how much woes they have, how mid or how above average Josh Allen's season is because he won MVP at this point. But I still think Buffalo's still the best team in the division so far. But as far as the AFC competition goes, there's some lows from teams here. Ravens, they have Lamar's injured. He'll come back after bye week. The Ravens should be fine. But besides that here, Cincy, not so good. Garbage. They had to depend on Joe Flacco, which, out of all quarterbacks, him. But the competition so far for the AFC, I mean, I think that at best for us here, 7 or 6 seed at this point. Nothing more or less than that.
The South is looking pretty good. I mean, Indy and Jacksonville, Houston.
Houston is getting back, and then Tennessee is the crapster fire. And let's just briefly I'm sorry, but let's just quickly talk about that. I know we want to get back to Thomas, Nathan's question, but what are your thoughts on potentially going up back to Tennessee to face against Mike McCoy, who is now the interim head coach?
Nah, it doesn't matter who the coach is or whoever it is. Tennessee is Tennessee. They're not good this season. But again, when it comes to these games here against like low-tier teams, we need to watch out.
Right. They only have one. Their one win is due to Eric DeMercado dropping the ball at the goal line. I mean, Tennessee's barely better than Miami or the Jets or Cleveland as a
the Saints.
Or the Saints.
Or the
Cleveland
Saints.
and NOLA both have stout defenses, though. So there you go. But yeah, Tennessee. I mean, I see. We saw the revenge game from Diggs. I think we'll get the revenge game from Vrabel too. But
and from Landry and from Gibbons and from Spillane.
It's not. Spillane was a Raider.
He was signed by the Titans.
Oh shit!
Before he went into the season.
It was Chason who was a Raider. My bad.
Yeah, Chason's a Raider.
Spillane was a Raider at one point too.
Spillane was a Raider, but before that he was
a Titan. Yeah, so he was both. But yeah, I think Vrabel clearly has this attitude that no team is a pushover. They're all in the NFL. So yeah, I don't know much about Mike McCoy, but I thought we'd get the revenge game against Vegas. We didn't get it. We did against Buffalo, and hopefully we will against Tennessee, who, like I said, only has their one win because of a goal line fumble, and their defense sucks balls.
Buffalo just fumbled the football.
They did?
How are you? Oh, gosh.
They got a punt now.
This is just sloppy gameplay for the Buffalo Bills. And after our game against us, the Buffalo, I think they're getting way too cocky. At this
Yeah, it was Luke. It was Luke who said or it was either Luke or Caleb who said, "Oh, geez, aside from or maybe it was Tyler. Aside from the Steelers and the Panthers, okay, the Dolphins shit. The Bills might be falling off kind of a small cliff here. The Raiders beat us. It turns out they're not that great. I
would say the Raiders are one real loss this year where I wouldn't say we made crazy mistakes. It's just, we missed a field goal. It was the rookies kind of getting into it. Drake May kind of finding himself in the offense.
It was rookie-itis, and it was Bill's first game under McDaniels.
Yeah, we were caught in a lull. I'd say the Steelers is the definitive, we shot ourselves in the foot and then the head and then everywhere in between because 5 turnovers. But, beyond those 2 games, I mean, we've played, I want to say, close to flawless. We've had some turnovers, not many.
The penalties have got to stop, and the turnovers have got to stop. It's a broken record here. Everybody's saying it.
But I think it's now time to talk about our winners and losers. Unfortunately, special teams will not be in the board, but I think that to make this more respectable, since special teams it's hard when Andres Bergal had another perfect game and just making some plays. Let's do one winner for offense and defense, one loser from offense and defense. I'll start off with Andy, then get to Austin, then Thomas, and then me.
My winner for offense is Demario Pop Douglas. Yes, I am saying that. I did not think I would be saying that. It was a push. It was a nip and tuck between him and Boutte. Like I said, I like both of their plays, but it was a bounce back game from Douglas. I mean, he might even still both he and Boutte were doghoused by Belichick. Their rookie seasons. If I quickly go back to my stats here, Douglas, he didn't have a lot of catches, but he had, gutsy and electric catches. He only had 3 receptions for 73 yards, but he did have that touchdown. And he had the touchdown that should have been, and Boutte wound up getting the score on that drive. But yeah, I think it was a bounce back game for Pop Douglas. I liked his positive energy. That I like that he seemed to, just dust himself off and get himself going again in this offense. My defensive winner, what was that? Dow, one on each side of the ball, you said?
What's that?
One winner and one winner and one loser. I gotcha. My loser on offense, brother, would. That's a funny one. My loser on offense, I'm sorry, Mondre. I'd have to go with you again. You didn't lose the ball, and you had that awesome run block, but 2 yards per carry is inexcusable and unacceptable. Like I've said earlier, you're not carrying a baby, you're carrying a football, and now you've kind of gotta you gotta get the I can't think of the phrase right now. You gotta get your jitters out. I mean, like we talked about earlier, he's nervous. Because Vrabel can be kind of an overbearing head coach, just like Belichick. But Mondre needs to, if he can, find the balls and guts he had 3 years ago. I don't know if he can do it. But yeah, 2 yards per carry is not acceptable. The loser on defense goes with Carlton Davis. 2 bad games in a row. Let Olave walk all over him, including that first reception of the game on Spencer Rattler's first throw. I think he had a 53-yard reception. I forget who the corner was on that play, or the defensive back rather. Help me out here. Was that Davis? I think it might have been.
On Olave?
Yeah, that first throw, Saints' first throw.
Yeah, I think it's
Duggar.
It's Duggar.
Oh, it was Duggar. Oh, that's right. Oh, great. It's a toss-up. Oh, great. I have a toss-up between Duggar and Davis now, brother. I'm just going to go with my initial thought and say Carlton Davis.
Remind me who your winner is for defense?
What?
Remind me who your winner is for defense?
Oh gosh, who is my winner on defense? I just have to go with Marcus Jones. He got the defensive stops that won us the game. Clutch third down plays. I mean, no more, no less. So Marcus Jones would be my winner on that side of the ball.
I see. How about you, Austin?
Yeah, I think my easy winner for offense is Kayshon Boutte. 5 catches, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Every single catch was a first down. He just came up clutch. He had the contested catch, catching it over Kool-Aid McKinstry, which I thought was a really...
That contested catch was something. I mean, they
That
replayed...
Yeah, that was Julio.
That was like the Davis... That was the David Tyree catch, except it went for a score. I mean, McKinstry tried desperately to grab the ball out of his hands, and Boutte was just holding on.
Yeah, it was Julio Jones-esque to me. It was just a very physical, like, go up, grab it, and hold on to it as you fall down to the ground. The second touchdown where Maye just blankets it perfectly into, like, the triple coverage there, and he just, pinballs into the end zone. And then that final catch on the sideline there to get the first down for us to essentially seal the game after the challenge. I just thought his performance was, stellar. I'm a huge fan of Booty, and it's just great to see him taking continual steps to be better and better week in and week out. My loser on offense has to be Mike Onwenu. I just thought his blocking was piss poor for the entire game, especially on run blocking downs. And quite frankly, I don't know what his future is like with this team. I don't know if he's getting complacent, but I'd feel more confident in bringing Bradbury back than really having Onwenu back. I get Onwenu's got the contract, so it's not one of those things that I'm actively like trying to ship Onwenu off because he has proven to be a solid player, but I don't know. That last game was just awful by him. Really need to see some improvement against the Titans. My winner on defense would have been Marcus Jones, but I'm going to go with Christian Ellis for the sake of being different. Okay. Just that forced fumble really changed the course of the game. I don't think we scored off of it, but it's just the fact that, we forced the fumble and then we just kept draining more time off the clock, giving the Saints less time. And, I thought Spencer Rattler played quite well against us, all things considered. But I definitely think that Christian Ellis coming up clutch, getting that turnover, just warrants him doing that. And he's just been improving every week. My losers probably, I guess I'll go Duggar just because his pass coverage was awful. It just showed from the get-go with that opening let up of like 60 yards to Olave. Granted, Olave after the big gain was only held to 98 yards on the day. So if you think about it, a 60-yard pass to open and then 30 yards for the rest of the game, that's pretty damn good defense-wise. But, yeah, Duggar, just because we're poking for straws. I mean, if we're talking the biggest losers, it's the fucking refs. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, an inch away from could have thrown the game at the defense and may not come through. So,
yeah,
an ugly win, but a win. There you go.
Yeah. How about you, Thomas?
My obvious winner for offense is Drake May, and it is always going to be Drake May. He played fantastic. It's a B performance on his part. He's been consistent on the pocket. He's been playing so well here. His deep pass, all three of his touchdowns were medium to deep passes, which is ridiculous to see. No, we have not seen that a lot of Drake May throughout those weeks. We finally got a chance to see what Drake May's made of when he's out of the pocket at this point against this Saints defense. So, honestly, and Drake May made history, being the fourth quarterback to under the age of 24, 23 to have 200-plus passing yards, 100-plus passing rate in 5 games with Mahomes, Burrito, and Prescott. And the crazy thing, out of all the second-year quarterbacks...
Pretty star-studded list there, man.
Yeah, and the crazy fact is, out of all the second-year quarterbacks for the 2024 draft class, he is first out of all the categories: completion percentage, touchdown passes, touchdown runs, yards per pass, yards per game, explosive passes, passer rating, APA per play, and successful rate.
Impressive.
Out of all the second-year quarterbacks in the NFL in the 2024 draft class.
Yeah. How about your loser on offense?
Garrett Bradbury, because of that fumble.
Then again, it was recovered, but oh well. How about on defense, winners and losers?
My winner, I want to go with Marcus Jones because but I have him with someone else, and the guy I have him as my co-winner here with Marcus Jones is Craig Woodson. He's been way consistent in this game. He's made some good tackles that we need the most, including the solo ones. He did well there. My loser is 100% Kyle Duggar. Allow that big ass play, that 53-yard pass at this point, and I'm not give the loser to freaking Carlton Davis. I always give him a chance when I need the most. He's still one of the elite corners in the league. I know for a fact he is injured. He's injured at this rate. I give him a chance here. I'm not going to butcher him throughout the season. I only butcher the people who needs to be butchered, and right now, Kyle Duggar is the one that's going to get butchered.
Respectable. My winner. Okay, so here comes my winners and losers. My winner is 100% Kayshon Boutte, especially when it's like a homecoming game, getting 2 touchdowns. Granted that both of these wide receivers, both Pop and Boutte, have been really inconsistent, I would say, but when it matters the most, they actually made plays, and I think they are gelling really well with Drake Maye, and when it mattered most, especially those 2 touchdowns that Kayshon Boutte made. It is between Kayshon Boutte and Pop Douglas. I'm not going to lie. These two balled out really well. My loser, unfortunately, is Jared Wilson. His pass blocking was abysmal, unfortunately, and he needs to improve in the pass blocking. I get it that he has done really well, but in that game, he did not look good. And I think that he could bounce back against the Tennessee Titans, but I think the Saints defense was really good, and I think Jared Wilson got, a little bit frenzied, I would say, in the pass blocking. So I would give Jared Wilson the loser. My winner on defense, I'm actually going to go with Harold Landry. 1 sacked, especially coming back from that small injury and still being able to make plays when it mattered the most, especially getting that sack on a Spencer Rattler before halftime hit. And I think that was like a crucial sack from Harold Landry. Granted that Jones played well. Robert Spillane obviously played well. Christian Ellis bounced back, but I felt like Harold Landry has been really consistent. And there were people that were shitting on the Harold Landry signing, but I think that Mike Vrabel loved that guy, and they're utilizing him very well. My loser, I agree. It's also Kyle Duggar. Like, especially when you lose Jalen Hawkins, granted that his coverage was not good. Kyle Duggar was abysmal once again. And I get it that he's trying to come back from an injury. He did not look the same. I'm sorry. There's a reason for why Kyle Duggar played the whole entire game against the Minnesota Vikings. Because I don't think he's going to be a starter moving forward. I think he's going to be a backup safety as time goes on. And I don't have confidence in Kyle Duggar anymore. Like, you can't let up that 55-yarder against Christian Olave when you're supposed to be good. When you're supposed to be like a box safety, I would say. You were supposed to play within the box. He looked abysmal. I'm sorry, but Kyle Duggar is on the hot seat right now. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And, of course, Tyler says his winners are Will Campbell and Craig Woodson. No surprise. Will Campbell always plays well, even though he only allowed 1 sack. But that was, ever since then, he has been playing really well. But that's going to be it today, guys. Leave in the comments section below who are your winners and losers from the Patriots-Saints game, and what are your thoughts on the Patriots-Saints game as a whole? Did you like the officiating or you did not like the officiating? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, please make sure that you smash the like button and hit subscribe. It's completely free, and it helps us support the channel in a massive way possible. And since we already hit 102 subscribers, we are slowly going to start that Discord server. It will take a couple of days, but we will get that up and rolling sooner than later. But yeah, it will be a best way to interact with the Patriots clubhouse. And I want to ask you guys, do you think that we should rename this YouTube channel from NE Patriots Talk to the Patriots Clubhouse? I want to hear your thoughts about this. And I will have that logo for the Patriots Clubhouse, if we're going to change it, coming soon. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be awkward that I have to change the name for the third time, but as long as if you enjoy this content, just click the subscribe button. It helps supports the channel in a massive way. It also supports me, Andy, Austin, Thomas, Tyler, who is our producer, and Dustin when he comes back by like week 9 or week 10 when he gets his computer back and rolling. I can't wait to see what the 5 or 6 of us will do with this channel. And as always, guys, ladies and gentlemen, go Pats.
Go Pats.
Go Pats. And after refs.